Minneapolis.
Brewing Company. Yeah. Carver County Kolsch. I don't like it, but it's the first thing at the Total Wine that I saw that said Kolsch on it, so I was like, why not? Anyways, hello everybody. Welcome to our first ever in the middle of a football game episode, which hopefully is going to be a thing going forward now if our plan is executed correctly. We are here on a Monday night. The Bears are up 20-14 at half, so in a couple minutes here the game will resume, so we're actually going to be recording in the middle of the game, and you're going to get to hear me probably swear a lot and be either really excited or really mad. But yeah, and then not next week. Next week we're recording back on a Tuesday. But then the following week we're going to try to shift to recording during Sunday nights. So we will be hopefully broadcasting during the Sunday night game, kind of in the same manner, jumping in at halftime or so. And it doesn't matter who's on. We'll kind of give our thoughts as the game's going, but we'll also kind of touch on what we usually touch on, which is stuff during the week and whatnot. So how you doing tonight, David, before I kind of touch on the Bears game so far?
So I love the foggy vibe of Gillette that they tend to get for a lot of these primetime games. I don't know why. It's one of my favorite scenes in football. I don't know if it's the pyrotechnics they use, but it looks like it's foggy everywhere around the stadium right now.
I thought it was just a permanent fog over Boston. I could be wrong.
It could be.
But
The time I was there, it was sunny, but I feel like it's always foggy during these night games.
oh boy. All right. Actually, the half is just about to start. So if you didn't watch the game and you're confused at what we're talking about, I apologize. If you did watch the game, you're probably going to laugh at some of our reactions to some of these moments. I tuned in tonight. I forgot that Joe Buck was doing these games, and I got really annoyed again. I know we've talked about this, but we don't.
It's funny you said that because I was just thinking the other night, or last night, that ESPN is the only, aside from Fox, ESPN is the only announcing booth that has upgraded this offseason.
See, but how do you upgrade on perfection a la CBS?
Is that actually your favorite?
You have Jim Nance and Tony Romo. Like the color commentator, I could kind of take or leave. I care more about the play-by-play. So you have Jim Nance, and then you have Ian Eagle, and then you have Kevin Harlan. I'm sorry, you can't
Sorry,
really.
I guess that's fair. That's fair. I guess I was just thinking the A squad.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah.
I don't know,
Oh,
man.
so you're saying by upgrade you mean that everybody else changed?
Yeah, and I feel like they were all downgrade because say what you will about Mike Tirico.
What? Hal Michaels, Kirk Herbstreit? What? Come on.
It's just an awkward pairing. I don't like it. And I miss Michelle Tafoya on Sunday night.
Yeah, that's true. So didn't she come out as like a huge right winger now?
I have no idea. Probably.
I thought she got canceled for I don't know what. But anyways, the Bears start with the ball on the 24-yard line. So the Bears are up 20-14 at half. Justin Fields and the Bears offense doesn't look inept, which I love. He actually is having time to throw. His vision's been really good from what I've seen so far. Making really good plays with his feet. Patriots defense doesn't scare me as much as, I don't know, we're about to eclipse 23 points. I don't want to jinx it, but clearly we're better than the Packers offense. And then on the flip side, Mac Jones looked awful and actually got benched after throwing an interception, which was one-handed intercepted by Jaquan Brisker, my man. And so Bailey Zappe has entered the game, and all he's been doing is slinging dimes. Can't even be mad. I'm actually he's been really impressive. I can't lie.
It's wild. It reminds me of that was a bad throw. It reminds me.
Oh, my God.
Okay, real quick on Justin Fields. I feel like he has really good at moments tonight, and then there's just those plays where it's like, is the ball wet? What happened? And some of the sacks that he's taken have been very ugly too.
Well, the Khalil Herbert touchdown where he was going to throw a screen and had to adjust because of what was happening with the defensive end, and it was beautiful. And then he does something like that. He can't even throw a screen to Mooney. It's like, come on. Oh yeah, what do you think of Zappe taking over for Jones?
It reminds me of I'm gonna get so distracted.
Fumble, scramble,
and first down.
Oh, he gets the first. No problem. Never a doubt.
The Bailey Zappe magic reminds me of the Brett Favre Monday night game against the Raiders, where receivers were just going up and catching everything because the touchdown.
That the parent death night?
Yeah, after his dad
Didn't
passed
his dad
away.
die?
Yeah, like the way that Jacoby Meyer and Devontae Parker went up for those balls, I was like, okay, those are clearly 50-50 ball. Well, the Jacoby Meyer one, he was
Well,
wide open, but that was actually a bad throw.
oh yeah, but the one to Parker, like he literally could have walked down the field 40 yards and couldn't have handed it to him better. God, I love that. Where has this offense been all year? 20-yard end around to Dante Pettis, who may have hurt himself decelerating. I don't understand that. Jaquan Brisker got hurt earlier, jumping out of the way of a quarterback, and I was like, "What? Why do these injuries happen?" That's just so the.
Well, you know what his injury was, right?
Was it his nuts?
Yeah, he took a cleat right to the crotch.
I just was in our racing league, so I've been trying to pay attention as much as I can without crashing into a wall during the first half. So, hey, I finished 4th. It's like I didn't do anything stupid tonight, unlike my last 4 starts in that league. So that's fun. That was a hold. But
where were you?
So we got away with it. We were at Baku. Ugh.
Oh.
So, anyways, we did get one fan question tonight. I think we should address right away.
Okay.
Shout out to my mom, whose birthday is also in a couple days. So when she's listening to this, it might be her birthday. If she's listening on a Friday, I don't know when she'll be listening, but happy birthday. She wanted to know this is a deep one, right? She wanted to know our opinions about Pop-Tarts and which our favorite flavors were.
I have a pretty controversial take on this.
Well, you gonna trash Pop-Tarts?
No, I used to eat them a lot more when I was younger. I actually can't even tell you the last time I had one. Nowadays, just like the straight up, which one I enjoy the most, it's probably the brown sugar cinnamon. However,
oh my God, what?
I don't know. Maybe I'm just not very cultured in the Pop-Tart world. But if I had the choice, I would take the pastry with just the frosting and no filling.
So like the frosting, as in like the top part.
Yep, like the cherry was my other favorite. Cherry was a close second, but I just loved the pastry with the frosting.
I think my Pop-Tart hot take is that the fruit ones should not exist. Because not to say that I eat a s'mores Pop-Tart, which is probably my favorite, and it tastes like a s'more. It just tastes sweet and sugary. But when I taste a strawberry Pop-Tart, I'm expecting it to taste like a strawberry, and I don't get that at all.
No, not at all.
I don't even know. It tastes like something sweet that could come from nature, but it doesn't taste like a strawberry. So, I don't know. But s'mores for me, and I can't even remember what the flavor is. It's like chocolate chip, I think is what it's called. It doesn't have a frosting as you describe it on top. It has just this one little black streak of hard whatever. Let me find.
Is it a cookie dough one?
We're not used to recording this late, are we?
No, dude. My phone went into bedtime mode a half hour before we started. I was like, uh-oh, my body's going to be in culture shock.
Is that why you texted me? I was like, I had 7 laps to go when you texted me.
I kind of forgot about that. Yeah, you're probably thinking the chocolate chip.
Frosted chocolate chip.
Yeah.
No, because cookie dough is different, because cookie dough is like s'mores, but not s'more filling. Hang on. 2nd and 14.
They have a peach cobbler Pop-Tart.
Why? No, yeah, cookie dough is definitely different. Chocolate chip would be my second, not cookie dough. They have. I'm looking at a graphic that has pick your favorite 3, and it has 24 flavors on it. Let's see. Some of these I've never heard of. They have. Come on, They have pretzel. Would you try a pretzel Pop-Tart? That sounds disgusting.
Yeah, sweet and salty.
Lemon cream pie, peach cobbler, raspberry brown sugar cinnamon. Oh God. Crisp apple. I've never heard of that. Oh, damn it. Well, if we get a 3 here, we're gonna go up by 2 possessions. So I like that. Good. It was a positive drive. I think with the Bears, you kind of take what you get. But yeah, if we get 23 points, that'll equal the Packers. So, yay. Well, while they're about to kick this field goal, what are your thoughts about the Packers losing at the Commanders? Where's that panic button?
Right here.
What is that?
It's one of Miller's Packer dog toys that just happened to be sitting by
Okay.
me. But yep, it's right here. It's with me. I carry it with me to work. I keep it in my glove box. I brought it to the gym today. I'm carrying it everywhere I go. So at every opportunity that I'm reminded of what happened yesterday, I can just hold it nice and tight.
I am seeing well, okay, first of all, Aaron Rodgers doesn't seem to be the slightest bit concerned in the way he's talking in press conference and whatnot, even going about as saying this may be really good for them.
I don't know, man.
I mean, I know you use this term all the time. Is that just spin zone 101?
I don't know what it is. I truly don't. What is so incredibly maddening is for the last 3 weeks, him and LaFleur have said over and over and over and over again that they need to get Aaron Jones the ball more. We need to run the ball more. And the first drive of the game, we gave it to Aaron Jones 5 straight plays, but he ended up only having 12 carries the rest of the game. No, did he even have 12 or did he have 8? He might have only had 8.
I know his touchdown catch was sick. That's kind of just like one of those, because that's when they scored that. I'm like, where's that been all day? And now they're gonna win. They're gonna come back, no problem now.
Okay, do you want to hear the Aaron Jones stats from this season? Well, we'll do the last couple games. So this game, loss, 8 attempts. The Jets game, 9 attempts. The Giants game, he at least had 13 attempts. Patriots game, a win, 16. The Tampa Bay game,
Bears game,
12. But yeah, Bears game, he had 15. So clearly, there's a recipe there that is working, and it's so disappointing when they abandon it so early too, because that's the whole purpose of the run game is you stay at it and you chip away at a defense and eventually you break one loose. But even at the beginning of the game, he only had 23 yards on these 8 carries, but that was because he had 1 or 2 for a really nasty loss. There was a couple other 6-7 yard gashes early in the game. So I don't know why they decided to go away from that. So I know you listened to Rodgers or you saw part of his press conference from yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even listen
After
to
a
it.
loss, it's must-see TV.
I didn't even bother. I was more interested in hearing LaFleur's than his, to be honest.
Wasn't he in the spin zone too? They're like, hey, there's a lot of season left. As if they're not going to the all but likely, at the very minimum, AFC conference finalists. They're going to get to the AFC championship game at the very minimum, Bills.
I don't know.
Who have the front seat to the home field advantage in the playoffs too, which is going to be, because that's the one thing I don't think we've gotten yet is we haven't gotten prime Mahomes versus prime Allen in Buffalo yet, have we?
No, I don't think so.
So I really want to see that in the playoffs. Oh, Bears made the field goal, by the way, so it's 23-14.
This is the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career he's opening as a double-digit underdog in some sports books.
Seriously?
Yep.
Wait, not even 2008?
Nope.
Damn.
Also, the first time in his career he's below 500 through the first 7 games, which ironically also happens to be the same year that Tom Brady is for the first time since 2002. I don't know. I was telling Michelle on Sunday that I was disappointed and upset, but it was just meh. This is the Green Bay Packers. I am over everything I said earlier this year. They're just not a good team. They're just not a good offense. I feel so bad for the defense. I feel so bad. They played 80% of the snaps in the second half or some crazy number like that. This is the 3rd straight game now the defense has gotten gashed in the second half, and it's because the offense continues to go 3 and out drive after drive, so the defense is just getting gassed the entire game. I don't know. Which is just incredible to think about, that you have a 4-time MVP, Matt LaFleur, who's supposed to be some, genius coach, one of the best running backs in the league, and you can't get off you can't stay on the field for more than 3 plays.
Yeah, Matt Nagy used to do that all the time. I remember distinctly that the 2019 opening game against the Packers after we went, 12-4. And it was like super hype, like, oh, we lost because of the double doink, but we still got a great team. We're gonna repeat again. Or it's gonna be great. Packers still suck. And I think we like ran the ball 9 times. And then after the game, Matt Nagy had the nerve to say, "I had a boy Roquan sack, 3 and out, get off the field." After the game, Matt Nagy had the gall to say that we need to run the ball more. It's like, dude, you call the plays. What do you mean we need to run the ball more?
I
It would be
know.
one thing if it was you're getting stuffed attempt after attempt after attempt, but 9 runs isn't a good enough sample unless you're down, 21-0 in the first quarter. Maybe ditch the run game, but I'm pretty sure that game was like 13-9 at the end or something. So maybe it was 13-7. So yeah, it's always annoying when a coach calls the plays and says we need to run the ball more. Or I guess it's another punt return fumble. I guess we put this
That
guy.
brings
We
me
put
to
Pettis in. We put Pettis in just to avoid Velus Jones Jr. fumbling. And yeah, I bet you're about to talk about Amari Rodgers, aren't you?
that brings me to my next point. Punts are officially my least favorite play of every game.
What do you mean?
Usually
I thought Pat
that's the,
O'Donnell
like-
was the GOAT or something.
Pat O'Donnell's doing fine. He's great. It's everyone else on special teams. I mean, God. Amari Rodgers has 5 career receptions. He also happens to have 5 career fumbles. And he almost had that catch in the second half that would have redeemed himself
That was
majorly.
okay. Well, that's another point I could bring up is I know the receivers aren't making as many good plays as they can. I know the offensive line protection has been sus. I know some of the schemage on defense could have been better. I have yet to hear Aaron Rodgers or Matt LaFleur say that the QB play could also be better.
Dude, he's a bottom 10 quarterback in the NFL right now.
Really? Is that bad
Yes.
in your eyes?
Yes.
Because you're talking about that Rodgers one. I mean, you could argue that he should have caught it, but it was overthrown.
Was. I mean, Amari Rodgers is also very short, so that played into it.
But yeah, I've yet to
if-
hear Rodgers say like, "Oh, hey, I need to play better."
There
If
was
I've
a
missed
play,
it, I apologize. But
So we apparently Hickey has just internet bullied Rodgers into doing the exact opposite of hero ball. There was a play he threw the check down to Aaron Jones, and Romeo Doubs was just streaking wide open across the middle, wide open, and it was clear that was, if not the first, at least the second read on that play. There's no way Aaron Jones' swing pass was your first or second read, so I don't know what he was looking at there.
well, the sad part though is if that was Cobb, it would have been a touchdown because he would have been looking at him.
I don't know.
If that was Jordy, if that was James Jones, if that was Devontae, that would have been probably his first read if the play was designed. Because it's Dobbs, because it's Watson, because it's who's the guy making his first NFL action this weekend? Troy Ore or
Samori, yeah. Yes.
yeah.
Toure.
If it's one of them, I bet they're probably not under consideration until it's like, oh crap, I have nowhere else. Like Jones is covered, Tunyon's covered, Dillon's covered, Lazard's covered. I got to go to someone else now.
I don't know if I've ever seen an NFL player whose one of his biggest strengths is also one of his biggest weaknesses. Like if you think back to what peak Rodgers has been, it's sometimes that off script, hey, my receiver knows exactly where I'm going to put this ball, and I know exactly where this receiver is going to be because we have this amazing connection and I trust them so much. Also be such a negative where the slightest bit of distrust and he doesn't even look your way. It's insane. It's just so polar opposite.
And if that's the case, I mean, I know, well, we're at the point in Rodgers' career where it's not something he can work on. It's kind of just the way he is. But at that point, if you're like LaFleur, why would you even keep that receiver in the game? I know it's not really fair to that receiver. Oh, Justin.
Because at the end of the day, that's the only way that trust is going to build. He didn't trust Devontae in 2014 and 2015. You know what I mean? That happened over time. It's just unfortunate
But he also had what? Jones. Who was their
Jordy.
heyday tight end?
Jermichael Finley, but he
Oh, God.
he was.
I kind of
gone.
miss him though. His drops, his periodic drops in crucial moments were really funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. What else do I got for the Packers game? Well, 2 more. So certain people on the internet are pointing out the fact that as soon as Rodgers got paid, he started to stink.
Dude,
As soon
don't
as
get me
Bakhtiari-
started. Don't get me
As soon as
started on that.
Bakhtiari got paid, started to stink. And now the narrative is that Jair Alexander stinks. I happily tagged you in that because that podcast is Ike. Still don't know how to say it, if that stands for something.
It is.
That podcast has been on a heater, which is funny because, we talk about how, you just need to sit back and enjoy the ride sometimes. I'm not sure Packers fans are used to being in this position where their team is not good and they don't know what to do with themselves.
I don't think we've been. It's so pathetic.
We've not been. Oh, what pass protection was that? Nice job, Justin. Oh, what a play! He's definitely in. That was one butt cheek. Justin, you legend. Nice job by Komet too to catch that.
One butt cheek.
There's no way we should have had a chance in that, and there's no way Belichick's going to challenge that. Waiting. Why is the ref taking so long? Stop the ball. We got it off.
I'm pretty sure it was a catch either way.
I'm pretty sure it was a catch too. Great play by Justin. Great play by Komet. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter. We're about midfield now. Woo. Anywho, what was I about to say? I was talking about Jair Alexander
And David Bakhtiari and.
Oh yeah, so I mean, you think about the Twitter era of the NFL. The Packers have basically had one bad year, which was 2018.
And 2017 with Brett Hundley.
Oh, okay. So they had 2 bad years. I'm just not sure the Packers fans don't know how to react when they suck. Like, Bears fans are well versed in knowing how to handle suckage because we've sucked for so many years.
And it's primarily those that are my age and younger, or our age and younger, because they were born into silver spoon playoff football with Brett Favre. The fans that are a little bit older that had to suffer through the 70s and 80s, they're not as insufferable because they've been through this before. They've been through much worse than this before. This is nothing compared to what they got to experience at that time. I mean,
God, could you imagine if I was alive in the 85 Bears and I knew you? Oh, my God.
Dude, before Brett Favre showed up, there was serious talk of the franchise leaving Green Bay. Like, those talks were happening in the league office. You know what I mean? It was, if it wasn't for that, I don't know if I lived 30 minutes from an NFL team. Like, that's how dire it was in Wisconsin at that point.
I'm sure they could have made plans to save the franchise, like stealing the welfare funds from Mississippi to pay for that relocation to not happen. Or they could have stolen the welfare funds from Mississippi to make that relocation happen. So shout out to Brett Favre for saving Green Bay.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. So the thing I was getting at, though, is that, I'm not sure Packers fans know how to handle suckage. Oh, he's going deep. I get the Joneses mixed up here. There's Jack Jones and there's 31 Jones, and I don't know who's who. But so the narrative now is that Jair Alexander sucks or something because he got beat by Scary. Well, okay, he did ask for single coverage. He got granted it by, I don't know, Joe Barry or whoever decided that they were going to do it. And McLaurin did definitely get the better of him on several occasions. It'd be like one thing if it was one catch for a touchdown or something, but he got beat. So including one of the most pivotal moments of the game, which was that third down where McLaurin just mossed him.
So it's going to happen. Like, good corners get burned sometimes. Good corners have bad games. That's not absolutely unheard of. Jalen Ramsey got absolutely toasted by Stephon Diggs at the beginning of the season. The touchdown to Scary Terry was pretty damn good coverage, but it was also a pretty damn good ball and a great catch. So it's not like he got cooked on that one. But the real issue I had with that tweet is why anyone feels like it's necessary or appropriate to call out David Bakhtiari for anything right now. That sent me to the absolute moon. The guy had a career-altering knee injury in 2020, but you have the balls to come at the guy like it's his fault that he's not playing as well as he did before. The dude had to have like 3 or 4 knee surgeries. Absolutely embarrassing to even throw that take on the internet. And it just goes to even back up your point even more that Packers fans don't know what to do when their team is one game below 500 in October. Give me a break. I mean, you really think that guy would say that to David Bakhtiari's face?
Do you think? I mean, if we're being honest, I wouldn't say anything I say to anybody's face because they're all a foot taller than me and have no body fat.
I know, but this is just like so different. It's that one
Yeah,
pissed
I
me
get
off
it.
more than
I get what
anything.
you're saying though. Yeah, I mean, I definitely is. What I've always said is that if I'm being respectful, like, hey Dante Pettis, I wish you ran a better route there. I wish you bailed out your quarterback there because we needed the help. I feel like it's periodically just sticking to football and saying like, hey, you could have done better there. It's not like I say like, hey, I hate you and your whole family, or I wish death upon you, or things like that. That's to me never okay. But I don't mind when people make like critical statements about the black and white plays of the game. Now with the Bakhtiari one, there's two components of this where I can. Well, there's one part he was lights out against the Jets, and it's like, here he comes, he's back, he's that man again. I think where the frustration is coming from people's eyes is the unpredictability of how he's going to be during the week.
I don't care.
And I know that's not his fault. That's not his fault. But I can see where it's like he looks amazing against the Jets, and it's like, oh, he's back, and we're going to be good again. And then all of a sudden, it's like 2 days before the game, and there's doubt that he's going to play. And it's like, if you have to go through that every week, is he worth keeping on the team?
You think you're frustrated as a fan? How do you think that guy feels? That spent the last 2 years every single day trying to get back to a position where he could play. Like, seriously, as upset as I am about this team looking bad up to this point in the season, the way people have turned on him, I literally cannot put it into words without dropping more F-bombs. And I just got a text from my wife that said, take it easy on the F-bombs. Or it said, do me a favor.
I got the notepad out. Don't worry.
Anyways, I'm not going to beat that horse to death, but I can't take any more David Bakhtiari slander because that man was an absolute animal, and the stress that gets put on that knee, I can't even imagine it, and the amount of surgeries he's gone through, I can't imagine it. Again, does it suck? Is it disappointing? Absolutely. But there is no one on this planet more disappointed and more frustrated and more pissed off than he is. So, Packers Twitter, Packers fandom, lay off the guy, okay? I'm sick of it. Secondly,
hang on a second. I just texted your wife asking her to tell you to stop swearing.
Thanks. I promise that was my last one.
No, I don't care.
I already kind of said my piece on the whole Jair thing that, yeah, the guy had one bad game, but let's also not forget that he fought all season last year to come back from his injury to ball out in the playoffs. So he wasn't the one that let this team down in the playoffs last year. Ironically, the 4-time MVP is the only one that you can really hold any water in that argument about is, his disappointing play thus far in the season. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, the Bears just hit a field goal, up 26-14. I really wish we could convert some of these. I mean, I think Santos has 4 field goals on the night now. But, hey, positives. This scoreline is definitely awesome so far, 26-14.
Before we move on from this game, one other comment, unless you had anything else, the only thing I wanted to say is, does the name Jace Sternberger mean anything to you?
It didn't until you put it on the rundown.
Did you do any research on it?
I was going to wait for you. I'm assuming he got picked ahead of Terry.
By one pick. He was the 74th pick in that draft, and Terry McLaurin was the 75th pick in the draft. And Jay Sternberger is currently not with an NFL team. If I remember correctly, he might have actually been the one that was battling some pretty intense mental health stuff for a little while. So I hope he's doing okay. But he dropped one of the funniest tweets I've ever seen where he just said, man, can't believe the Packers passed on Terry McLaurin being obviously the pick that the Packers went with, and then also no longer even being on the team, I just think is one of the more hilarious self-deprecating tweets in a long time. So shout out to Jay Sternberger for that one. I hope you're doing well.
Next time they show, well, sorry, you're not usually one of the people that goes, God, I wish the Packers didn't pass on this guy.
Dude,
Scary Terry is like the one kind of player that in recent memory where you went, wow, I can't believe the Packers passed on that guy. I think this is an offsides in the Patriots.
You know what? The reason I hate that is, guess what? So did 73 other picks. You know what I mean? Like, I hate that argument because there's other teams that passed on him that probably wish they had him right now. Yes. Have there been some really bad misses, especially in the third round since Gutekunst has been handling our draft board? Yes, absolutely.
Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, Brian Gutekunst. Yes, the Packers have had some bad draft picks, but I hate playing revisionist history. I absolutely hate it.
Yeah, because I always go back to the 2017 draft, which was particularly scarring. It's like nobody in their right mind would have picked. I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. If I could go back and look at the college tape and whatnot, and if you could like sit down at a bar with me leading up to the 2017 draft and ask me which quarterback I would have taken, I would 100% have said Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
You look at his college career, you look at all of his intangibles, speed, everything. To me, he was the shoe-in. Trubisky had 1 year as a starter at North Carolina. He looked like he had the makings of being a good pro-style quarterback, but it wasn't like a shoe-in. So I think they reached for him. I don't even think Mahomes would have been in my top 4, if I'm being honest. I mean, I think air raid quarterbacks are always going to be a little suspect. I knew he had a really good combine because I kept hearing his name pop up, but to take him at 3rd, I think people would have laughed at the Bears. Also, he would have gone into a much worse situation than he would have at the Chiefs. So I'm not saying he wouldn't have potentially saved our franchise, but that would have been a much different situation than going to an Andy Reid offense with Kelsey and Tyreek and whoever. So
I saw another one today that, again, just about sent me to the moon on Packers Twitter. Someone said, "Man, can you believe the Packers could have had Jaquan Brisker if they didn't trade their two second rounders for redacted?" They're talking about Christian Watson and how we could have had Jaquan Brisker.
Redacted.
They're talking about how the Packers could have had Jaquan Brisker instead of Christian Watson, which, again, this is the same group that's clamoring right now for the fact that we don't have a single receiver that is a true number one, and yet you would have been happy drafting a 3rd defensive player in the first 2 rounds of the draft. Give me a break. Like, everything this team does is wrong in your eyes right now. And again, some call me a Packers apologist, and maybe I'm too loyal to a fault sometimes, but people, man, they suck. They're dumb.
Go! Get a block! Dante Pettis just put us into field goal range. Man, the Patriots have done nothing this quarter. See, this is what I've been saying. It's like we usually look really good in the second half. If we can just actually look good in the first half for once, we may actually have a chance at some of these games. And look at that. Do you think they're going to put Mac Jones back in?
I don't know. I was actually just kind of thinking that.
two 3 and outs to go back. Oh, we almost fumbled. 2 3 and outs back to Mac Jones. And now there's 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Bears up by 12 and already close to field goal range. Let's go. Love that. All right. So a couple topics to touch on. Let's do like a pre-football one. I'm sorry, before Sunday. So the Panthers traded Christian McCaffrey to the 49ers for, I think, a 2nd, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th from a year from now. So McCaffrey now on the 49ers. Panthers just so happened to kill the Buccaneers 21-3. 49ers lose by 21 to the Chiefs. Let's start just by focusing on the trade. Do you like the move by the 49ers?
I do. I just thought it was interesting that they are like going I guess kind of all in when their projected starting quarterback is out. So it's just interesting to see them in like a win now type mode. But I don't know. Kyle Shanahan's made some 2nd and 3rd string running backs look really, really good. So I'll be curious to see what Christian McCaffrey looks like. but he's also playing on a team that's more injury prone and ridden than anyone else in the league the last few years, and we all know Christian McCaffrey's injury history, so I hope he doesn't get bit by that bug.
Yeah, I was trying to think. When was the last time the 49ers had a running back start for 4 or more games in a row under Kyle Shanahan?
Yeah, I don't even know.
Because it's been Jeff Wilson. Who else do they have this year? They have Jeff Wilson. I can't even name another running back on their team right now. But they had Hasty. They've had Mostert. They've had McKinnon. They've had Coleman. They had Sermon. I feel like I'm just naming a bunch of like church names right now. Yeah, it's
they had Debo.
Yeah. So it's like they've been doing a lot with late round picks and whatnot and doing it quite effective. I'm not sitting here saying that adding a guy like McCaffrey to your team is ever a bad thing. 2 things I don't like. One is now pretty sure they don't have a pick for the first like 5 rounds or 4 rounds next year. The second thing is his contract's okay. I think it's an average of $12 million a year, and they're at the point in the contract after this season where there's no dead cap if they cut him, which would also kind of be baffling because then they just gave up all this compensation just to cut him after, a year just to save the money. So I think it's $12 million a year for a playmaking running back. It's not the worst contract I've ever seen. And I know the salary cap's going up next year, so they could probably just absorb that into the additional funds they'll get next year anyways.
And it's not like they're sinking money into a quarterback.
Right. Well, yeah, I guess they did restructure Jimmy G. And at this point, they can lowball Lance in 2 years.
Yep.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't think this is the thing that's holding the 49ers back. I think they are – Jimmy G is a great quarterback if your team's up by 14.5. I think where Jimmy G starts to fall apart and where the 49ers start to fall apart is if they ever get down by 10 points in the second half. That's then, yeah. The Great Lakes Navy Blue Jackets. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I have.
Wow. Where did they play?
They were right by Great Lakes Naval Base, I think.
Where's that?
Just north side of Chicago.
Oh. I think I'm assuming Bill Belichick's father played for the – well, it couldn't have been. Maybe it was his grandfather.
Yeah. Football team represented the Naval Station Great Lakes.
God,
I was right.
Did you see – I'm proud of you. Did you see that? Justin Fields had times to go – he had enough time to go through 3 reads and found EQ right open for a first down. I love this. And nice. Mustafer's in the game, and he actually did something. That was – I mean –
Oh, can I say one other thing on the Packers game? Sorry. Because we were talking about blocking.
Sure.
My boy Zach Tom.
Oh, how did Zach Tom do?
Yeah, dude. He had a really good game. I don't think he gave up a single pressure on all.
He was the one player on the Packers offense that did good. I heard there was one player. I didn't know who of the 11.
Shut up. The offensive line, actually, for the most part, played pretty damn well. And I really liked that they moved Elton Jenkins to left guard to help Zach Tom at left tackle. But hey, if there's one bright spot in this season so far, it's that the one offensive lineman I was excited about coming out of the draft actually held up pretty well against a pretty formidable front four. So that was all.
End of the fourth quarter, 26-14 Bears, still driving. So if it wasn't the offensive line, is it just the play calling?
That's the Packers' offensive problem.
Well, what was the problem from Sunday?
Play calling and execution on the offense. And by execution, I mean the quarterback missing throws and receivers dropping balls that they should catch. Although not perfectly placed balls.
So Matt Ryan got benched today. He had a grade 2 sprain of his shoulder. So when the coach came out today, Frank Reich, and said that they're going to go with Sam Ehlinger for the rest, or Sam Ehlinger this week against the Commanders. Everybody's like, all right, well, Ryan must be hurt. Then he went on to say that Sam is going to be the quarterback for the remainder of the season. We're seeing this weird shift in football, and I tweeted about it today, where the old guard right now is really suffering in football. Aaron Rodgers is on a failing team. Tom Brady's on a failing team. Ryan Tannehill doesn't exactly ooze confidence right now. Russell Wilson is in a disaster in Denver. Who else is there? Andy Dalton's not particularly in a good situation. Well, they were looking good until they weren't against the Cardinals this week. Who else is there? Matt Stafford. Are you kidding me? That looks awful right now. The only one that I can think of right now of kind of the quote unquote old guard. So Matt Ryan just got benched, obviously. Derek Carr. The situation in Vegas isn't one that oozes kittens and rainbows right now. The only one of the old guard that I can think of right now that's actually thriving is Kirk Cousins. And by thriving, I mean they're still going to get throttled here eventually when they start playing good teams. But we're seeing this like weird shift. I know we can kind of in our other speak, we can kind of equate this to the time when like Mario Andretti, Rick Mears, AJ Foyt, Emerson Fittipaldi, and all of them started retiring from open wheel racing.
Yeah.
We're just in this like weird period, right? We're seeing this dramatic shift from kind of the Bradys, the Rodgerses, and whatnot to the Allens, the Mahomes, the Jacksons, the Hertzes, things like that.
The Burrows.
The Burrow. Oh God. See, I said a couple weeks ago it's way too soon. Like people were ready to throw in the towel on Joe Burrow. I was a little bit on the fence about the season for the Bengals, but I was definitely not ready to just like give up on Joe Burrow. And man, they're starting to. I mean, it took them a little bit to get going last year too, which is I know one of the things that Packers fans keep pointing out about this team is that sometimes the Packers start out super slow, but they get it together. They still haven't given me any sort of indication that that's coming. Versus, the Bengals, it looks like it's there. It was just a little bit of play calling, a little bit of protection issues, but now it's like they give you that I know it's the Falcons, and they're not exactly the best team, even though they are within a shot of winning that division now. But the Bengals looked really good, and point being, I still think there's some weird kind of shift now in football where some of these guys, like Brady and Rodgers especially, and Stafford, they have ridiculous contracts. And if you're looking at what other teams are doing, you're looking, yeah. Well, the problem with Russ is that they're stuck with that now. There's no real good out for them unless he retires. But like Brady's a free agent this offseason. Are you in a position where you start to contemplate moving on and maybe trying to? Oh, Montgomery, you beauty. First and goal Bears. Or is there a situation where you just, say screw it and try to go find someone else? I mean, I know that would be a tough thing to sell to the front office, but at the same time, if it's not working.
Sorry, I'm just lamenting the fact that the Packers may be the third best team in the NFC North right now.
Hang on a second. I mean, this is definitely the best we've looked all year. Because you got the win against the 49ers, but rain and first week jitters, whatever. God, Montgomery, as soon as he gets touched, he still finds a way to get like 3 yards.
Oh, insane. You know who else can do that? Aaron Jones.
Yeah, but see, Montgomery gets 10-plus carries a game.
Funny how that works.
I'm excited for when the Packers come to Chicago, but at the same, because I actually might win that bet for the first time ever. But then I realized that that's just not going to be the case.
So we were talking about the changing of the guard, and all of those teams you just listed are 500 or below.
Exactly. I mean, it's been kind of a weird year though. Of like, there is the incredibly wealthy, and then there's everybody else. So there's like the Bills, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and then kind of everybody else, and the Vikings, I guess.
As it stands, this is how the NFC playoffs would line up. Eagles is the 1 seed. The 2 seed would be the Vikings. 3 seed, the Seahawks. 4th seed, Buccaneers. 5 seed, Giants. 6 seed, Cowboys. And the 7th seed would likely be the Rams because they're 500. But otherwise, it's kind of a toss-up because everyone else is 3 and 4.
I would love to be the 5th seed I mean, obviously getting home field advantage being the Eagles situation is really good, but like, man, I would love to be the 5th seed right now. And because you're going to go to the NFC South champions. Mm-hmm. And if the 6th or 7th seed can also win, that means you wouldn't have to go to Philly next. That seems like a really, and I'm going to go ahead and speculate at this point that fifth seed's probably going to be the Cowboys.
Or the Giants.
Woo! Touchdown! Oh,
Giants.
and that guy just got flattened. Did you see that?
No.
I don't know. Someone on the left-hand side just got bulldozed by 2 Bears. And the Bears are up 32-14 in Foxborough. What in the hell?
No longer Zappe hour.
Well, we're going to go...
So out of all the teams in the NFC that are either at or below 500, I can't even say this with a straight face because the Bucs are leading their division below 500. So maybe let's leave them out. Outside of the NFC South, which team below 500 is most likely to make the playoffs? I think that kind of leaves the Rams, Niners, and
the Bears, obviously. We're up 32-14 at Foxborough. 33-14. Hey. No, below 500. I guess I would kind of just have to default to the 49ers.
That's kind of where I would
Although
go
they
to
got
right now.
throttled this week. But the good news is they still get to play the Rams again, so that's another win. I think they got a couple more cupcake games coming up, maybe.
And then how about teams above 500? Who's least likely to make the playoffs?
The Giants. I still don't think the Giants have a good win to their name.
You don't think it's the Seahawks?
I think the Seahawks are for real. I honestly do. I think defensively they still may have some holes.
I just think with 4 wins, they're much more likely to be caught by the Rams or the Niners, where the Giants at 6-1. I mean, they only have to win 3 more games, and they're probably a guaranteed 7th seed.
No, I still think it's a tough question, but I just think the Giants haven't shown me that one win yet. Because in my estimation, they've played one really good team who didn't have Dak Prescott and one talented team that are serial fourth quarter choke artists right now in the Ravens. But, when they beat the Bears, like, whatever. They beat the Packers in London, and it's like, whoa, they just beat the Packers outside of the first 2 weeks of the season. This must be a real team. But now it's like you look back at it, are the Packers actually even that good? So, to me, I still don't think the Giants have one elite win to their name. Like, they haven't gone 2-1. It's not like they've gone out and blown the doors off of a playoff contender or whatever. Like, the Chiefs blowing the doors off the 49ers this week, to me, it cements them as, for sure, the second best team in the AFC right now. 100%, yeah. No doubt. And they're going to cruise to that division because that division is a lot weaker than we were anticipating.
Yeah.
So, but, yeah, I guess we're going to touch on some of these games here to kind of get our thoughts on the games themselves. But real quick, since we're kind of talking about this old guard topic, what do you make of Matt Ryan being benched? Do you like the decision? Do you think it's too soon? Do you think it's not going to help the team? Do you think it's the right call?
I don't even know at this point, to be honest. I know he was injured, and they say they were going to make the decision regardless of the injury. I feel like it's probably a last-ditch effort by the Colts coaching staff and front office to try to potentially save their jobs and breathe some light into the season and the future of the franchise. Because you do have a really talented young talent pool in Indianapolis. It sounds so stupid, but they've been a quarterback away for the last 3 seasons, it feels like.
Yeah. And it's not been I know the Andrew Luck retirement season, there was no way to account for that or plan that because I'm pretty sure he retired in the middle of a preseason game. So it's like, it's not like he retired in May or whatever before the draft. And then, so that year you can kind of just write off. But they've had many, many off seasons now to prepare for this, and their answers have been to just go from one old quarterback to the next. Because they went from Rivers to Wentz to Ryan. And they've done next to nothing outside of Ellinger and who else? Anybody? I don't think so.
I don't think so. Who was a quarterback from Ole Miss? I'm totally
Chad
blanking
Kelly?
on his. Yeah, didn't they draft Chad Kelly?
I think he was Mr. Irrelevant. I saw that the other day. Oh, fun fact. which is going to be turning into a graphic here soon. What college has had the most quarterbacks drafted since the year 2000?
Is it Ole Miss?
Nope. But if I'm asking,
LSU?
there's probably there you go.
The only reason I knew that is because I just all of a sudden had like pictures of Matt Flynn pop into my head.
Or Danny Etling.
Or Danny Etling, yeah. Also is a Green Bay Packer.
Yes, exactly.
Two
Also,
Green Bay
the
Packers.
greatest scrambling quarterback in preseason history. Because he had a long run for the Packers this preseason. He's had a long scramble for the Patriots in the past. So, yeah, QBU. Graphic
Jamarcus
coming
Russell.
soon. Jamarcus Russell, Matt Flynn, Zach Mettenberger, Joe Burrow. Did you say Jamarcus Russell?
Yeah.
Who else has there been?
Oh, Zappe with the
I'm pretty
ultimate
sure
check down.
Lee probably got drafted. There's a little bit of fuzz in between the before Mettenberger. There's a little bit of haze from my memory of who was leading our team, but yeah, good times. But yeah, obviously Joe Burrow is pretty much the only one that's kind of stuck in the NFL for a long period of time. So yeah, QBU and DBU. I don't care what Texas fans say. I don't care what Texas fans and Ohio State fans say. LSU's DBU. Put it on a Sharpie and a billboard somewhere. Facts. So, yeah. But, let's just run down the list of the games here that were kind of relevant. So, Patriots first down. Their first one in the second half. I'm really proud of you. So the Buccaneers are just in complete disarray. Panthers trade away McCaffrey, start P.J. Walker, and if I'm being honest, I think P.J. Walker was probably the best. Either him or Geno Smith were the best quarterbacks this week, with a final score of 21-3, and the Buccaneers just look completely lost. And I know we talked about this when we talked about our top 10 coaches according to PFF. How it's like, Todd Bowles never really got the chance in the Jets, but now he's kind of walking into a pretty good situation here in the Buccaneers. Is it Todd Bowles? Is he the problem? Is Byron Leftwich the problem with the play calling? Is it players not executing? Like, I just don't know why this team sucks.
I don't think it's Byron Leftwich because he was calling plays last year, wasn't he?
Yep. Although Matt LaFleur was calling plays last year too.
Yeah, but I'm not going to get into that right now. I put it on Twitter. They showed the graphic on Fox too. Yeah, I don't know. It might be Todd Bowles because
What a throw.
But here's the crazy thing. Their defense, not that they've been spectacular. Obviously, they gave up a ton of points to the Chiefs, but it's not like these games that they're losing, teams are gashing them left and right. Like, sure, 21 points by P.J. Walker is nothing to write home about, but the offense has been the real issue.
Yeah, sorry, I was just mesmerized by that Zappe throw. He just threw it between a tight window for a slant. 8.5 minutes to go, and that was an awful throw by Zappe. Yeah, I think the one thing the Buccaneers really have going for them is that their division sucks. That's pretty much going to be their get-out-of-jail-free card. Or if their offense just suddenly clicks all of a sudden, because the receivers don't appear to be on the same page. The run game seems ineffective. Brady looks a little bit disinterested and not his usual sharp self. I mean, he's had a couple. Right early in the game, 4 minutes in the game, he has a bomb to Evans, and Evans can't hang on. Like, I'm not sure what you're supposed to do about that as a quarterback. That's coming back. That's a hold.
That was a rough look for Mike Evans.
Oh, awful.
Very rough look. And again, it's like one of those plays that you hate to say it, but sort of like changes the entire trajectory of the game from that point on, just because that's such like a big gut punch right off the bat. But
would you? Sorry, we're jarring my brain as we're doing this episode. So back with the Packers, the scoop and score that was called back because of the Eric Stokes. What was it? Illegal contact?
I don't think it was, but I'm a homer.
Intercepted! Take it to the house, Roquan! God, we're going to go to Foxborough and win. Oh, there's a flag. Oh,
Remember
no.
when you said you wanted to do this recording because you felt that it would be a good way for you to cope with a the Bears getting shellacked at Foxborough. Oh, look at there's fans leaving. Wow, that's.
Oh, he wants to get paid. Pay the man. I'm trying to figure out what this flag's for. Maybe it's like a block after the player.
I think
maybe
it was
a holding.
I'm thinking it was probably a block.
Oh, there's our former collegiate wide receiver turned defensive end, Dominique Robinson, 7th-round pick, Miami, Ohio. Oh, God. Tevis Gibson just threw that man to the ground. Yeah. Oh, and 64 that's probably the flag right there. Did you see 64 kill that man?
Yeah, that was probably a blindside block.
Here, watch this.
Yeah.
Sit down. Oh, you got whiplash to the ground. That's not good. But yeah, that's the kind of people our GM wants is the offensive lineman or the defensive lineman and offensive lineman that just completely don't care. They're just he wants kind of dogs out there. That was a little bit of a dog move, but it's never fun to see a guy get hurt. But man, he put the wood on him. Pretty sure in college that would have been an ejection. Oh, we're waving to fans now? Man, it's getting to that level.
Yeah, waving goodbye. They're leaving. They're filing out.
Well, it's funny. The last time we were here, our big free agent signing, Lamar Houston, sacked Jimmy Garoppolo in the fourth quarter when we were down by 28-plus points and did the Cristiano Ronaldo celebration, and in the process of doing that, tore his ACL.
That's on par.
Yeah, that was very on par. That was very Chicago Bears-esque. Especially, well, we signed a 4-3 defensive end to come into our new 3-4 system, and you can guess how that worked out. And we knowingly did that. And it imploded in our face. And then him blowing his ACL in a celebration in an irrelevant game was the highlight of our season. So, yeah. So this is a little bit of a, what do you call it? Exercising some demons. We're exercising some demons out here tonight. Love to see it. So now we're up by 19 points. Is that the math right? There's Khalil Herbert,
Yes.
who is getting paid
Correct.
next to nothing and is doing great. Love that. So 7.5 minutes ago, we're up by 19. Man, this is a dub. Oh, he did get ejected. Did he? He's hurt. Mike Pennell Jr. 9th season. Wonder if he got ejected for that. Anywho, what did you think of the Dolphins' 16-10 win over the Steelers? They got 13 points in the first quarter, and then they got 3 the rest of the night. What did you think of Tua's return?
That Kenny Pickett looks bad.
That's your thoughts about Tua? Is that Kenny?
I mean, honestly, they came out pretty hot, and then they just started to stall. I'll be honest. By the time we got to that point in the night, it was, again, dude. It's well past my bedtime. So usually at this point in the Sunday and Monday night games, I'm like hanging on for dear life, like Preston Smith holding on to a torn shirt.
I'm gonna break you out of this. Don't worry.
I know. No, I don't know if you are.
Well, when we move to Sunday nights, I don't know how many Monday night. How about we do a Monday night game if like the Bears or Packers are on, but otherwise we try to stick to Sunday nights.
I don't know. The win's a win for the Dolphins. Nothing about it was impressive. Kenny Pickett sort of handed that game to them in a sense. So I'm not fully on the Dolphins hype train. I know you were sort of off it already, but I've started to pump the brakes on that one as well.
I'm 100% off the Dolphins hype train. I don't think they're a very good offense.
I did think their
defense,
uniforms look sick.
Well, it's just like one. And who was it? When the Bears played the Giants, kind of makes you take a step back and go, what teams have changed their uniforms and shouldn't have? Giants are 1, Dolphins are 2, Rams 2. I think the Rams botched their, what do you call it, rebrand or whatever.
Yep, I would agree.
They should have stuck to just blue and yellow with the old
Falcons.
Rams. They had one of the best helmet schemes and uniform schemes, and they just ruined it. Falcons.
I don't like their new ones compared to their old ones.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about the Falcons.
Jaguars.
But the Jaguars have changed their uniforms so many times. I don't even know
Yeah,
if
that's
it's
right.
considered
They're
their
kind of
original.
they're kind of back now a little bit.
Titans should be the Oilers. Don't care what anybody says. Although, I'm pretty sure there's no oil in Tennessee. I could be wrong. But also the Texans should just be the Oilers then at that point.
What do you think of the Kelly green of the Eagles? Do you like that better than their new green?
It's funny you say that. So I had Red Zone on. Sammy was just, cleaning or whatever. Comes in, Sauce Gardner makes a play, and he's like celebrating. She's like, "Oh my God, those uniforms are awesome." I'm like, "Wait, really?" She's like, "Yeah, the chrome green helmets and the clean white with the black pants. That's an awesome look." So I think her new favorite uniform is actually the Jets.
I do like the Jets uniforms a lot. It's good. It's a good rebranding for them.
Yeah, they're one of the few that have actually done because I don't like the Titans' new helmets or uniform combination particularly well. Don't think the Commanders did as well as they could have, although they should still be the football team. Who else has changed? I think the one team in a desperate need for a uniform update is the Cardinals. I think their jersey helmet combination is particularly weak.
Yeah.
The 49ers changed their jerseys about a decade ago. I loved those. The Vikings changed their jerseys about a decade ago. I think they did a really good job at that. The Seahawks changed all of their stuff about 12, 13 years ago, and I think they did a great job. So it's really just been like Falcons and, I don't know, Rams blew it. Commanders blew it. Trying to think. Titans blew it. Browns have done a couple in the last 10 years, and I think they finally are on a pretty good one now. I think what they have now is pretty good. Bengals did a really good job. Was it last year? The Bengals did a bunch.
Yeah.
Bengals look really clean now.
I like the Chargers.
Charger, that's a really good one.
Their dark
their
blue
combination
and their powder blue. They all look good.
Their dark blue on dark blue this weekend might be my favorite look in football.
Too bad they looked terrible on the field otherwise.
Yeah, we have some graphics. They may have come out by the time you're listening to this about the 5 coaches that are on the hot seat according to us. Which I 100% think Matt LaFleur is on the hot seat. I'm not just doing that to poke fun at Packers fans. Anyways, so Brandon Staley, though, something's not working here. For a defensive-minded head coach, he sure doesn't seem to get his defense to be playing particularly well, especially for a team that is as talented as they are.
This is so typical Chargers, though. This is what they've done for the last 2 decades. They finally start to make you believe, and then they just go full Chargers on you for whatever reason.
See, I said that, though. I said that in our AFC West preview. I distinctly remember that there's just this intangible thing that is holding the Chargers back and has been holding them back for many, many years now. And here we are.
Like you said, that's the concerning part too. For being like this defensive mastermind, this is a case where the defense is losing you games, not your offense. Not that Justin Herbert had the 2 turnovers right at the beginning of the game, which is bad luck. So they are turning the ball over, but still, offenses are gashing them left and right this season.
Yeah, it's like I don't think their offense is helping them win games, but their defense is also losing them games.
Yeah.
So something to watch there. The Cardinals defense finally started producing some turnovers. They had 2 pick sixes in the span of like 2 minutes, and an offensive touchdown also within that like 2-minute span. The Saints made a game of it there at the end, but the Cardinals held on. So the Saints, it was kind of one of those games where you get 2-4 teams meeting. Oh, another tip. Ooh. There's 4.5 minutes to go. Zappe has the ball at, looks like the 15-ish. So Bears are on the verge of being able to seal this here if they can stop them. So yeah, the 2-4 teams meeting, and you really don't want to be the team that goes 2-5 on that kind of matchup. So I think the Saints are really in trouble now. And Cardinals, jury's still out. Call of Duty is still upon us, so we'll see.
Yeah, I'm still not a believer in the Cardinals. Won't be all season.
Wonder what the big Bears adjustment was here, because we were definitely against the ropes a bit going into half. Oh, yeah. See, they're showing this replay again where our defensive lineman just murdered their offensive lineman. I'm pretty sure he got ejected.
What's his name?
Pennell Jr. Pennel. Oh, what a dime from Zappe. He makes some tight window throws that look amazing. But yeah, I don't know, because he was throwing, fades and jump balls and everything, and we really just haven't seen that this quarter. So I wonder what adjustments the Bears have made to kind of curb that a little bit, because he's doing a lot of checkdowns to Ramondre Stevenson. Oh, that was. What is the rule on helmet-to-helmet football? I swear I've seen the Bears just tee off on some guys here recently.
Yeah, they did eject him.
But, even this last one, number 91 here, Robinson just destroyed that guy helmet-to-helmet, Ramondre Stevenson. Let's see. What other trade? We got James Robinson being traded from the Jaguars to the Jets after Breece Hall tore his ACL. My poor fantasy team. Also, poor Breece Hall. So, do you think that was they gave up a conditional pick for him. I'm pretty sure every team in the NFL would have made that trade, right?
Yeah, that was a smart trade. It was a good trade. Funny what happens when a team notices they have a weakness at a position, and then they go ahead and try to address that weakness.
See, I think a receiver would solve all of your problems. At least that's what Twitter tells me.
It'd solve a few of them. Certainly not all of them. It'd solve a few of them, though. That was the other note I had. After watching this game, it's crazy seeing, receivers open and also seeing, the quarterback throw the ball up and letting the receivers make a play. I don't remember the last time I've seen that happen other than the Aaron Jones touchdown in the fourth quarter. So that was cool. It's fun to see that again, even if it's the Chicago Bears.
So do you think he's only throwing to guys that are open and not just...
Not all the... Oh, my God.
Pick six, Kyler... Oh, he's not going to get there. Intercepting Kyler Gordon. Get that ball back. That's your first pick of your career. Okay, the Zappe train kind of died here pretty quick.
Oh, absolutely.
He had the good second quarter, and then it's been... I think they may have just put themselves in a pickle here. Because now what do? Go back to Jones?
Yeah, you do. They even said before the game that they were going to let both play. So they did a nice job of hedging that bet.
Let's see what happens here. So Gordon gets beat.
Just a
That's
very
a bad throw.
Very bad throw.
It's a great
good catch, though.
That was a good catch. But yeah, when we played the Packers, Rodgers definitely noticed that he was getting beat off the line because they targeted him, I swear, a million times. That's their fourth turnover. Holy
it's crazy.
God.
Bill Belichick teams never turn the ball over.
Well, okay, because I do make a habit of not drafting Patriot running backs. And here I am with Ramondre Stevenson on my team, but they're also kind of thin at running back right now. I know Damien's back this week, but he's a little banged up still from his injury. So if you're a quarterback, though, you can turn the ball over as much as you want, except for your Mac Jones, I guess. But if you're a running back and you fumble in the Patriots, you were benched for the rest of the game, and it always pisses me off. Got any good Mouthguard awards for the week? Not even football related, just...
I already kind of said mine. I said my piece on the day. That sucked all the energy out of me because it just made me really upset. But that was my big. I feel like there was another one that kind of bugged me too. Did you watch much college football this weekend?
Oh yeah,
I didn't get to see a ton. I'm a little upset.
So are you the Mouthguard award winner or what?
I think I might be. Let me. Oh my God, I got beaten fantasy 190 to 96. Woof. But I knew this was gonna happen. Half my team was on bye. I drafted.
You planned for it?
Yeah, I actually did. I'm not kidding. I was like, I'll get all my buys out in 1 week.
See, anything happened in college football this week that's super memorable? LSU took the doors off Ole Miss. That was kind of fun.
That was dirty.
We were down 17-3, and then we went on a 42-3 run to finish out the game. So, yeah, Harold Perkins, linebacker from LSU. I'm going to keep saying it until I'm blue in the face that he's going to be a top 10 pick in the 2024 draft, 3 years from now. So he's a true freshman right now. So he's got 2 more years left at LSU, and then he's going to be a top pick in the draft. That guy, he can. It's really scary. I've never seen a player on defense that can play any position. He's lined up at defensive end, defensive tackle, linebacker, and corner this season. To have that sort of versatility as a 19-year-old blows my mind. So, really excited about him. I also think Mason Taylor, our tight end, who is Jason Taylor's son, is going places for sure. I think he's part of this next breed of tight ends that are going to come out of the draft in the next couple of years with Brock Bowers, also at Georgia, who is a sophomore, so he still has 1 year left after this year, who should be a top 5 pick. That guy is the next. He's like a mix of Kelsey and Gronk. Like, he's built like Gronk but can run like Kelsey. It's really scary. So there's some just insanely good players that are going to be coming in the draft here in the next couple of years. So, but yeah, it looks like Foxborough's emptying out here pretty soon.
Can I give my Mouthguard award to
absolutely.
somebody? I'm going to give it to the Green Bay Packers head coach, Matt LaFleur.
Oh, boy.
Because for the 4th consecutive press conference, he has directly quoted either "it's got to be better" or "we've got to be better." You can only say that so many times in a row and continue to run the exact same offensive scheme 4 games in a row before you eventually need to shove a mouthguard in and put your tail between your legs. I am a big fan of Matt LaFleur. I have been since 2019, but this is beyond frustrating, and I don't know if it's because he feels like the offense is a slave to his quarterback or what the problem is, but he's part of the reason Rodgers had this late career turnaround, because there's a reason they drafted Jordan Love. There's a reason Mike McCarthy was ran out of town. The offense just didn't look good, and obviously there was some other key pieces that have left, but stop saying it's got to be better. Stop saying we need to be better. Stop saying we need to run the ball more unless you're going to do it. So, there.
Yeah, I mean, I think you'll start to develop a bingo card if the Packers keep on this losing trajectory.
Of cliches and press conferences.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Nagy had said the same 4 things after all of his a million losses we had.
We got to put the players in better positions. We got to be better. We need to execute better. We'll have to look at that on the film.
It's not game over. I don't know why they're all high-fiving.
Turnover.
We just took a knee on 4th and goal.
Yeah.
Whatever. That doesn't matter. So the Patriots get the ball back on their own 2-yard line with 24 seconds to go. So what are the odds on this one? Is it plus 5,000, you think?
50,000.
So, Bears are going to go into Foxborough and win. They go to Dallas this next week. Huge momentum for the Bears. Dallas did get Dak back this week, but they didn't particularly look amazing on offense.
Yeah, they'll look better.
They'll look better. I think Dak's got to get some rust out.
And they got to run the ball more. Shocker.
Yeah.
That I'm saying that again. But that was the reason they were successful.
They're just going to take a knee. That's awesome. They just took a knee to end the game. Even though they're not going to win, obviously. But they had 3 timeouts 19 seconds ago, and they just took a knee and just gave up. We've submitted the Patriots. And Justin Fields, he's just signing autographs. He's just going to go sign autographs. The man of the people. All right, well, the Patriots are in a bit of a conundrum now with their quarterback situation. But, yeah, so the Bears go to Dallas, a place we've actually done pretty well in the past. I don't know. I don't want to buy in too much of the hype, but I'll give the Bears a little bit of the advantage going to that one, actually.
What?
Oh, yeah. After last week in Dallas.
One win on primetime against Bailey Zappe, and all of a sudden you think the Bears are going to waltz into Dallas and win?
I'm sorry. You beat Bailey Zappe by 3 points at Lambeau. We just won by 19 at Foxborough.
And I have admitted that the Packers are a bad team. We also beat the Bears by
We had a mini bye.
Points.
We had a bunch of corrections to make, and I think we made a bunch of good positive. This is the best we've looked all season.
Dude, the Cowboys defense is going to eat the Bears alive. I'm sorry.
That's what we said about the Patriots, though. And I think the Patriots defense
I didn't
is
say that. I
on
did
par
not
with
say
the
that.
Cowboys. I think the Cowboys get the nod, but I still think the Patriots have a very good defense. Oh, Roquan Smith's over there taking selfies. Love it. Yeah, I mean, I don't think. Do I think the Bears are going to win? Maybe not particularly. I might guess them just for the hell of it in our prediction thing. But it's like, am I going to say they're going to win by 20? No. But I also don't think the Cowboys filled me with confidence after last week, we'll say. So I have a little more hope going into it tonight than I did 12 hours ago. And it's been a weird year. There's been upsets everywhere.
The opening line is 8.5. That's a pretty big line. I
Line
wouldn't have
tonight was
guessed it.
7.5, but whatever.
I know. I would have put this at like.
Oh yeah,
6.
how did you do in Free Play Friday?
I jinxed myself with the Packers again.
When are you gonna stop doing that? Hey, don't worry, you can make it up against the Bills this week.
At this point, I think I just have to. I think I just have to bet the Packers as the underdog because I don't have anything left.
God, this is sad. I'm not used to seeing you like this.
I took the Raiders as the favorite. That hit. I took the Lions as the underdog. That almost hit until I got away from them in the second half. I took the under in the Jets-Broncos game, and then I took the Packers as favorites, so I went 2-2.
All right, well, you're still positive. So
The sick irony of it is if the Packers would have scored on that crazy hook and ladder.
Vegas would have been pissed.
Yeah, because the line was at 5.
Oh,
and if they would have scored and then kicked the extra point, they would have won by 5.
Mason Crosby misses.
Push.
Um,
Actually, yeah, they might have just taken a knee there to not risk like a. I guess it only would have been 2 points, so it didn't matter. But
so the Packers at the Bills. What is your realistic hope for the outcome of that game?
we lose by single digits, not double digits.
And what do you actually think is going to happen?
I don't even know. I truly don't, because this is one of those stupid moments where the Packers are going to somehow keep this game close when they shouldn't, or they're going to get the doors blown off. I don't know. It could go either way. I truly have no idea. I don't.
'Cause this was the one game I had circled before the season of like, all right, here's when we will know what team the Packers are. And unfortunately, I already think we know what team they are.
Yeah,
because they just went through their. I jinxed it. I said this is their easy stretch, and
I know
they
you've been
blew it.
doing this all year. I told you you've been doing this all year. I don't know. We'll say Bills 38, Packers 21. I don't know. No, I don't. I have no idea. I truly don't. I can't even begin to guess right now.
Do you want Jair on Diggs?
Yes, that's a dumb question.
Well, it might not be dumb if you're Joe Barry answering that question.
You want Eric Stokes on Diggs?
Hell no, that guy's a bust.
Okay, he's not a bust, but he's not.
Kevin King 2.0.
Okay, we'll see. Man, you are all full of piss and vinegar right now. Just because, God damn it,
We have the same record, bud.
we got a half game lead at least. I guess.
How? Oh, well, we're not going to have it. I don't think there's going to be playoff implications with our record, so it's fine.
Who is it? Oh, the Niners. I was going to say, have we beaten the same teams? But no, never mind.
Well, that was it. It's the episode.
That's it.
Bears
It's way
win.
past my bedtime.
Lighting, you made it. We get to do this
Barely.
again. We're not doing it this time Tuesday, but then we get to do this again next Sunday. I'm going to get some caffeine in you.
I know. I'm going to need a lot tomorrow. I got a late night tomorrow, too. I got to work tomorrow night.
Boo. Just take
I
it
know.
off.
No, I
I think your
can't.
boss will understand.
No, I'm giving a webinar presentation.
Oh, can I log into this one?
Yeah, you can. I've
It's
said
something
too
I've done in
much.
the past.
I've said too much.
Oh, all right. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. More fun content coming soon. Hope you guys enjoyed it. But yeah, check us out on all of our socials at Mouthguard Pod, and hope you enjoyed week 7.